Hello and welcome along to another CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. Today we're going to 2A Frinton Road in Stamford Hill, London, N15 6NH. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. Now, the borrower on this project is Vibu and Nelms Limited. Their company number is 111000765, and it was registered in December 2017. And I'm delighted that Paul's able to join us on this webinar. Welcome along, Paul. Tell us a little bit more about you and Vibhushan.
So it's myself and Vibhushan who are the directors of this company. We currently run a co-working space company called Oruspace in London. Myself, I'm from a construction development background, having worked at Skanska for 10 years in a variety of roles, leading lots of projects in infrastructure and property sector, lots of commercial developments. And Vibhushan is from a finance background, worked in lots of very large companies, AEG, Wembley Arena, and FA. We met at a co-working space company called Second Home. Vibhushan was head of finance and I was head of development there. And we purchased Frinton Road a couple of years back, took it through the planning phase, and now are looking to build out the project.
Let's have a closer look then at this project. This is a development loan facility that CrowdProperty is offering of £260,000 towards the construction of a single new residential property. It's a single phase loan for up to 12 months, and it's going to pay lenders 7.6% per annum. The interest is going to be retained and lenders will receive interest monthly. So let's find out a little bit more about the local area. Tell us then, please, Paul, about London Borough of Haringey.
So Haringey, in the north of London, is a very, very lovely area, an area that is changing quite rapidly at the minute with many both medium and large developments in the area. It's 5 miles north of central London. The plot itself on Frinton Road is very close to both South Tottenham and Stamford Hill overground stations. So connections into central London, Liverpool Street particularly, are very, very good. The area is predominantly sort of 2 to 3 story Victorian terrace properties. This property is end of terrace, so there's an infill plot between 2 different roads. Been used as a scrapyard for a number of years. Very low, sort of intense scrapyard, i.e. collecting materials, moving them around and discarding them elsewhere. So it's a little infill plot, triangular shape, really interesting project for us and for our architect. And we'll be building a 2-bed house within that land plot.
Well, we'll have a look at exactly what you're going to be building in just a few moments. The planning permission has been granted by London Borough of Haringey. Their planning reference is HGY/2019/1813. That was granted in August 2019. Where permission granted for development of that land previously used as a scrapyard to become 1 new bedroom dwelling. The development is a total of 635 square feet or 59 square meters. The borrower has already purchased the property using their own funds, and they also obtained a planning consent too with their own money. This loan is to fund the construction works. It will be first charge secured, and the exit strategy is to sell the unit on the open market on completion of the works. Here is the location plan. You can see on the left-hand side the CrowdProperty flag pointing to where it is in London. On the right-hand side, you can see that triangular shape, which is where the property is situated. And here's a little bit more then about the location. It's located in Seven Sisters, that's the electoral ward within the London Borough of Haringey. Site on the edge of South Tottenham and Stamford Hill, and the locality is predominantly a residential area. On the right-hand side, you see then a little bit clearer as to where it is in the local area. But here are the existing photographs of the property. Share with us a little bit more, Paul, how you found this property.
So the property was actually on the open market for sale. The existing owner was looking to dispose of the plot. They weren't using it for the original use anymore. We obviously spent quite a bit of time negotiating with the seller to get the price to the right level that would allow us to develop this and create the value needed for an exit. The property was on the market for quite a while, so we just waited to the right point to allow us to put the right offer in.
And the difference between those two photos is that they're both taken from the same angle. The one on the right is taken with the gates open.
Correct. So on the left-hand side, the photo shows the land plot from Frinton Road. The right-hand photo is basically walking through the gate, walking down the plot a little bit, a couple of meters into the plot, and showing you the aspect through the plot. Essentially what that will become is looking towards the front door, very close to the front of the photo, towards the kitchen, and right at the back of the building will be the rear courtyard, plus rear bedroom and study/second bedroom.
Now, it's very clever use of the land. Talk us through the floor plans, please, Paul.
So as you walk in from the right-hand side from Frinton Road, you walk up a small sort of gated area and into the first door. So that will be entering the courtyard. This courtyard will be quite heavily sort of planted, be a nice little space, secluded space away from the street. It's actually a very quiet block around there. So actually it'll feel very serene and very beautiful. From the courtyard, you'll go through a glass door into the main space. So the front door and space next to it will be full glass, bring lots of light into the main living space. The first room you arrive to is the open plan living and kitchen dining space. So on the left hand side will be full inbuilt kitchen units in a sort of a dark wood material. The dining room table, sofa, TV, and sort of wood burning stove will be in that space as well. So it'll feel very homely, feel very beautiful. It's lit by two main glazing areas, the front glassed area, which I've mentioned already, and a very large skylight above that living space. Then through from that, we have the main bedroom at the rear, which connects onto another courtyard with glass bifolding doors to bring light in, including another roof light. And just before that, we've got the bathroom on the left, and on the right hand side, depending how the end user wants to use it, it could be a second smaller bedroom or a study. The doors in the corridor between the bedrooms, bathroom and living room will be pocket doors that can be slid open, closed, to make the space a lot more flexible and usable depending on how people want to use it. And that will also have a roof light above that little corridor space to bring light into the area. So there's actually quite a lot of light within the building, with the two courtyards with glass doors and the roof lights above as well.
Coming in through the original courtyard, is that going to be a parking space?
It won't be a parking space. There's only street parking available. The courtyard is there just to be a sort of relaxing entrance point from the main street. There'll be a bit of seating and planting within that space.
And which market are you aiming this property at?
The property will be marketed through the Modern House. So we're aiming for the end user to be very interested in design and architecture. It's obviously a slightly more unique build than a typical 2-up, 2-down house. The detailing will be of a very good standard. Our architects spend a lot of time working on the details. That doesn't necessarily mean super expensive fittings and marble floors, but it does mean a lot of thought is being put into the right attention and detail needed. for this type of property. We expect it to be a youngish sort of couple or a young family who want something a little bit different to the norm, who are interested in a space that works for them, that has outdoor courtyard space and is flexible for different ways of living.
Now, this floor plan looks at the aerial aspect of it. Let's look at the elevations. Talk us through these.
So this elevation shows from the right-hand side, coming in from Frinton Road and right through to the back bedroom, which is towards the back of the plot. You can see the roof lights on this cross section here, which is bringing a lot of light in from the top into the different areas of the build. Now, the ceiling heights are just over 2.4 meters. That will feel a lot higher with the use of open joisted ceilings and the roof lights bringing light in as well. This is the another cross section of the space looking the other way. So Frinton Road is now on the left-hand side and we're looking towards the back of the plot on the right. So you can see the courtyard on the left-hand side, which is up against one of the terrace houses just behind it, which you can see, through the front door into the kitchen dining space, which is the largest space within the building, and then right through to the back at the bathroom in the middle there, and then at the end, that sort of greyed out space is the other courtyard in the rear, which connects onto predominantly the main bedroom, but also has a window into the bathroom to bring light into that space too.
Now, you've both worked on other projects as well. I've got a case study here, which I'd like you to talk through, please, Paul. This is one that you did in Surrey, and by the looks of it, it was a conversion.
It was an ex-retail commercial unit, which you can see on the bottom right photo. It was myself and Vibhushan who carried out this project. So we converted this from one unit retail with a small flat above into 3 individual residential lets. So there's a 2-bed flat, there's a 1-bed flat, and there's a studio flat. This was completed getting on for 2 years ago now. All have been let since that point, so it's refinanced and onto a buy-to-let mortgage, and they are currently let out, have been let out for the last 2 years with the same tenants actually, which is great news.
And it's great headline figures, isn't it? Because you bought the site for £300,000, spent £250,000 on it, but a GDV of £1 million.
Correct, and yeah, the numbers are there to see. You know, this project was quite interesting. As you can see, right at the back of the plot on the right-hand side on both photos is sort of a lower part of the building, which was just unused. You know, it's a storage area for the shop. It had a rudimentary roof, and we were able to get planning to turn that into an actual dwelling. And that's actually the 2-bed plot right at the back on the right there. For us, that was where the value really was. Of course, the retail can be converted into a flat and was quite easily. The flat above, you needed a good refurb and remodeling, which is straightforward. For us, the rear piece was the interesting part of bringing the sort of rear building back into proper use with into a new self-contained 2-bed unit.
Let's return then back to this project in Frinton Road on Stamford Hill. It's going to be a single phase raise of £260,000. This raise has interest retained. It's going to be paid monthly to the investors. RICS have verified the current market value at £150,000 and the gross development value to be £475,000. The initial gross day one drawdown is £90,000, which therefore makes the initial loan to value 60%. The loan based on the gross development value, including and excluding interest, is 54.7%. The term is a maximum of 12 months. It's targeted to start on the 25th of September 2020, but only after the legal paperwork has been completed. It's secured with the first charge security against the property. And remember that the exit strategy is to sell the property on the open market. Lenders will receive 7.6% per annum interest paid monthly. So your next steps then are to make sure that you understand the loan, carry out your own due diligence on the development and on the development team, decide how much you would like to lend, and then CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is a development loan of £260,000 in a single phase for a loan up to 12 months, which is going to be paying interest monthly at the equivalent rate of 7.6% per annum. And the property address is 2A Frinton Road, Stamford Hill, London, N15 6NH. Thank you for watching this webinar. We look forward to joining us again soon back here for more funding opportunities at crowdproperty.com.